Time now for our Ultimate Insider. We're joined by Fresno State head baseball coach Ryan Overland. Coach, first take me through how you're feeling at this point in the season.
Yeah, we're halfway through the league schedule right now, and we've put ourselves in a pretty good spot, especially with 3 of those 5 series being on the road, and having a winning record on the road is usually putting yourself in a pretty good chance, to be in a good position to win the league. And especially this year where the tournament's set up, you really got to be one of the first 2. The tournament's really set up to be the 1 or the 2 seed to win. So getting one of those spots, getting them to play that play-in game, and is really what we got to set out to do. And now having the next 5 weekends at home, take care of our home field and put ourselves in a good position to win a league.
Sitting atop the Mountain West standings right now, what kind of motivation and mentality does that give this team right now?
Yeah, and we understand that's only halfway through, and if any program knows that, it's us from what happened last year, where we were even in a better position halfway through, and then the second half of the league schedule didn't go so well. So we got to keep going forward. These next 2 weekends at home will be really big for doing that and putting ourselves in a good position down the stretch.
Having that championship experience from last year, how does that help this group moving forward?
Yeah, there's a certainty of, they know what it's like. They know what it's like to get that last out and be the last team standing, and go through some elimination games and go through some adversity and still get through it, where before you talk about it, you prepare, but until you've actually felt it and been on the field and in those situations, we got a lot of guys that have that experience now.
What can you say about the veterans on this team and how they've been able to step up and take on larger roles this season?
Yeah, and especially, on the mound, really, where we've had 2 of our best guys not with us all year, and Jake Riding and Vic Ariola. That would have been, 2 of our top 3 pitchers this year. So we've had to really kind of figure out some roles, and, what Caleb Hayes done coming in starting on Sundays for us, and what Drew Townsend and JT Guerrero at the back end of the bullpen have really done a good job. And then, really offensively having, Murph Gray, Eddie Saldivar, and Justin Stransky, consistent juniors and seniors in the middle of the lineup there that you're getting production from. Those guys were pieces of last year, and they've really kind of carried us this year.
Someone that's always been consistent on the mound, Jack Anker. What can you say about his performance and the way he's really turned it on the last few weeks at the right time?
Yeah, and maybe uncharacteristically not that consistent for a couple stretches there, but he did a great job keep working. Coach Buckley did a phenomenal job of helping make some adjustments and really kind of see what was going on there after a couple rough starts where he got hit. And, last weekend at San Diego State, that was about as dominant a performance as you're going to see, and it's really good to get him back on track. But we got to finish this thing all the way through in 5 more weeks of conference play and into the tournament. And, especially, like I said, that tournament is really set up to be the 1 or the 2 seed, and you got to win those first 2 games. So having Anker and Cremarosa positioned to do that will be key.
How different is that this year to have the tournament at a neutral site in Arizona and not at any Mountain West school?
Yeah, I don't know how much the neutral site will be a deal. I mean, last year at San Diego State was pretty much a neutral site without them in the tournament. But the biggest thing is going to be 6 teams, and teams 3 through 6 got to play a game to now get into a double elimination tournament. And then once you're there, it's 1 less day than it was a year ago. So that's 1 more game and 1 less day. So again, it's really set up for the 1 or the 2 seed.
What does it say about the competitiveness of the conference?
Yeah, and the balance of it. I mean, I've said for a long time this league is really challenging to win in because you got to win in different ways. There's a lot of conferences where it's pretty consistent, where the conditions are going to be the same home or on the road. In our league, you're going to week to week, it really changes, and you can kind of see that how series go 1 week to the next, where a team maybe plays really well at home and not so well on the road, because you got to win at elevation and be ready to outscore somebody. You got to win at sea level in a 3-2 game, and I think that's where being able to go have a winning record on the road so far in league has really put us in a good position.
Is there anything that's changed preparation-wise when it comes to the offensive production?
I think some guys settling into some roles again, like we said. So guys that were a piece of last year now maybe doing in a little different more, especially, Justin Stransky going in the middle of the lineup, and, Blanford being older, and really when we've been going well, getting production 1 through 9 in the bottom of the order. You said Sky Collins in the 9-hole was conference hitter of the week. So when you're getting production 1 through 9 like that, it can really help an offense keep moving.
We know how the fans feel about the local guys that stay here and play at Fresno State. You see guys like Anker, Sky Collins that stay home, they want to play for Fresno State. What extra emphasis does that give the fans to not only support these guys, but the players to want to represent their home?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about this team is being around these guys every day and the history they have growing up together and growing up in this community. And not only talking about playing each other in high school, but some of these guys you hear stories about when they face each other in Little League and having, Murph and Eddie, Munster, Schneider, all these guys that grew up here and played together and played against each other, and to know all their friends and family are here every day, and I think our crowds the last couple of years have really shown that, coming out to support these guys, because it's really special for these guys to grow up in this community, represent the Valley, and come here and play and be ready to go on to, accomplish everything to win in college baseball, get their degree, and play professional baseball. And to do it here, representing the Valley, is something we take a lot of pride in, and keeping these local guys here.
Speaking of representing the Valley, Aaron Judge being named team captain of Team USA for the World Baseball Classic. What does that mean, not only to this program, but baseball in general?
Yeah, just baseball in general. It's huge for being a Bulldog, and to see him get that honor, and I know something he takes a ton of pride in, and even just being the captain of the Yankees is one thing, but to do it for Team USA, I know something he's going to put a lot of pride in and means a lot to him, and it's great for just our game in general to have somebody like that, to have a superstar represent, on a worldwide stage, nationally, for the national team. To do that is something really special.